we're just not to do too formal of an intro, but we're just going to talk about That's What Love Would Do. You guys are the producing team and writers of that track, which we released, the Good Deed Music Group. So let's just get into it. I want to know, I know a little bit about how this track started, maybe having to do with Mark on some drugs. I don't know. Why don't you tell me how this track came to be?
Well, the piano line originally, I got surgery on my wrist, and I was like, I had just gotten back from the hospital, and I was like super out of it on painkillers, and I honestly like have a vague memory of doing this, but so I recorded this like piano like thing with one hand on my iPhone, and I sent it to Alexa, and then Alexa hit me up like a month or two later and was like, "Hey, I wrote to that thing," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "That thing you sent me." I'm like, "Didn't send you everything. I've never sent you that before." And like
that's not me.
Yeah, I was like, "That's not me." And like I went back through like the timestamp. I'm like, that was right after I got my surgery. Like I must have been so fucking high and out of it that, yeah. So that's how the piano line started.
That's so funny. And then when I wrote, okay, so I tried like a million different things on top of it. I tried to do some like cool off the cuff indie shit with it, and it just wasn't hitting. So I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna like, put it off to the side, not listen to it for a little bit. And then Eric, you and I were listening to Animals by Pink Floyd on a Zoom listening session. Do you remember that?
I kind of feel like Mark where I don't remember that, but I
Well,
actually know why. I do remember that. I think I was drinking wine.
Yes, I think so. And so we were listening, and then we got off, and I came up with the melody for That's What Love Would Do, like immediately after.
I had no idea I had any involvement in this song.
Yeah, I never really said anything. Because I just thought about it. I was like, wait a second. He was like indirectly involved with it.
Well, Animals, I've never listened to that album sober, but every time I finish that 4-track album or whatever it is, I'm so inspired. So that's super cool. That album has some of the coolest vocal melodies and instrumental parts I've ever heard.
And you like definitely said that as we were listening to it.
I'm sure.
And it was super inspiring, and I made it. I would say that song was inspired by 3 things: that album, the movie Grease, and a book called Still Life by Woodpecker by Tom Robbins.
How?
So they made love, and this song came from it.
Okay. So explain to me how you all write together. Or work together.
Well, that one, these guys had already made the idea. And I came into the studio one day and Mark was playing it and was like, "What do you think of this?" And we just fucking bounced out the stems, and then I just laid down what I was thinking.
Yeah, we had like the arrangement there and like the songwriting like pretty close, but it was kind of just like it wasn't quite there, and then I passed the stems over to Chop, and we redid the drums. We redid the drums, the
bass, and we had another friend of ours, YS, tap in and add the strings.
Yeah, he did a string arrangement for it.
It was.
And then it just kind of came together. Yeah, it went from being like a cool demo to like, oh, this sounds like a sick song.
Yeah.
Well, and it was all just kind of like, it was made, it wasn't like we all got in the studio and it was like made in a day. It was like, you sent me the piano, I wrote to it, came in with an idea, went back, switched up a few things, came back. Oh shit, here's a song.
Yeah, I didn't even meet you until after I did that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like that day I met you in the studio. Like, I had already done that.
Yeah. So I was like, yo, I got this song. Like, maybe I want to tag you in on it. Like, it's like, I feel like you could, like, help bring it to the next level. Like, you guys hadn't even met yet.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
So, Chop, you get the stems. You're talking to Mark. What's your process? You take, what may be like a demo, a little bit more than a demo. And then what do you go do with it?
I sat and redid the drums um because I don't really remember what it was before I did, but I just kind of put in more organic sounds.
I know there was like different hats that we switched out
Yeah,
too, and the bass line.
and then I did keep some of the hats that you had, like these hat rolls I kept in
Yeah,
there.
right.
Yeah, we redid the bass. And I don't know. I just kind of like,
I feel like your process whenever like you get stems is kind of just like go through and be like, okay, doesn't need any of this. This is where it needs stuff. This is like, and just like, and then like the arrangement and like the programming is pretty much just done.
yeah, I just kind of like brushed it up, like,
Yeah.
and like made it fatter a little bit, like
Yeah.
I didn't have anything to do with. I'm pretty sure that the arrangement was what it
Yeah, the
is
arrangement was,
already.
yeah, it was pretty
And I kind of just went through it, changed out sounds, drum patterns, bass, and then after that we added the strings and mixed it.
Yeah.
So kind of like helping define the tone a
Yeah,
little bit more.
When it comes to the writing part, I that was already done when I tapped in.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mark and Alexa, how did you guys get the structure written? Was Mark, were you alone? Were you guys working together?
For the first verse, I had like a little vocal melody that was stuck in my head for it, that I had voice memoed.
Because I had already come up with the hook. I came in with the hook and like a whatever verse melody.
Yeah, and I was like, I got this verse idea, and so then that was for verse 1, I think.
Yeah.
Right? And so then we kind of just took that and ran with that and wrote. Did we write the lyrics together? Or did you already have the lyrics?
No, I wrote all of the lyrics basically alone. But like it happened in like 2 parts.
Right.
Like, we talked about it, then I went back and then I wrote verse 1 and 2.
That's
and
right.
Then came back in
and then we did that post thing, which was cool, and we had like with the I had this cool little it was this reverb unit from it was called a Dreadbox at the time, and it like had this cool spring in it, and so we ran the vocal out. We did a bunch of different stacks and layers, and I ran them through like a couple different reverb units, and yeah, that part was a lot of fun to sculpt.
Well, and then I sang it into that telephone that you have.
I was gonna say, it was the telephone.
Yeah. To get that, I actually sang it through a telephone. It wasn't just a filter.
Amazing. So wait, did you have the phone set up as a recording device, or did you call from it?
So I got this. It's a modded.
It's just,
yeah, sure. It's just hanging on the wall right there. It's like this guy in Pennsylvania, I think, makes them. I got it off Etsy, and it's like an old phone, and it's modded with a 1/4-inch cable.
Yes.
And it's got like
super sick.
It's got this knob on it, which is like volume, but also adds kind of like resonance a little bit, so you can kind of it's like tone/volume.
That's
so
amazing.
You can kind of get it to like almost to the point of like where it's feeding back, like, and it's really cool. And
yeah, I love that thing.
Yeah.
The track has such a cool feel. It's such an interesting thing. I love using old little kind of weird tricks like that. And I actually feel like if I had a telephone, I'd be way more relaxed singing.
Dude, I'll send you the Etsy link. This guy makes like different versions of them just with old phones.
Did you use any of that stuff on Always Been Mine? Because those 2 tracks, I mean, not to talk too much. I mean, we can, but like they're kind of a unit. Like you did both of those tracks together.
Yeah.
I don't think we did. We didn't use the phone for that.
I don't think, no, because we started that song before I got the phone, because that was pre-COVID. I got the phone during COVID.
Yeah, I remember that.
We did that pre-COVID, and we had like a saxophone player come in.
That was sick.
Yeah, the sexy sax.
Yeah, that sax really.
Sexy sax.
It's so good.
Yeah, I fucking love that sax, man.
When you played that live, Alexa, what happened? Was it a sample, or did someone come up and play that?
That I don't know. There wasn't a sax.
I think you had a guitarist do it.
What, like a month ago when we saw you?
Yeah, when I performed, I honestly don't remember.
I think the
You probably
guitarist
didn't have it.
played that line.
Maybe Richter did that?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. So many things were happening.
Are you guys working on any new music together right now?
We are.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to play violin on something.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We did it at Chris's, and then we couldn't get the violin in place.
I got to get my violin repaired. Yeah, Alexa and I are working on a couple ballads at the moment. 2 ballads.
We're always working on ballads.
But these ballads are really sick.
Yeah.
She loves ballads. Or do you love ballads? Who loves ballads more?
We both love ballads, which is why I think like when we started writing together, we were just like, wait, let's fucking write ballads.
We always write ballads.
Yeah.
But like if we're working on other people's stuff, it's not always ballad. But him and I, ballad.
Always ballads, yeah.
You two have a lot of feels.
It's fun, man, you know, and especially as like a producer, I don't really get to work on ballads that much these days. So it's we don't do ballads because nobody's asking for ballads. So it's nice to be able to do that. You know,
what are people asking for? Commercial
pop music,
jingles, pop.
Yeah, we do a lot of
punk vibes,
pop music, pop punk, fucking
pop punk.
You know,
yeah, none of that.
I guess there's ballads on the radio, but I feel like people aren't as interested when you send them ballads for what they want, more like upbeat kind of stuff.
Yeah,
makes sense.
So, I don't know.
We just bring the feels.
We bring the feels.
Yeah, I feel like you need, if you get Alexa going on a pop rock song, she'll let loose, but you have to like somehow present it.
Yeah.
To her. She's,
I've been writing more things kind of like that because I was feeling like, oh, everything I write is a ballad. Like I don't want everything to be a ballad. So I've got some tricks up my sleeve.
You guys have one song.
Exciting.
You have one song on your next EP that's like, I kept thinking it was a cover. I was like, who was the original song?
It's Love Song.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It is.
After the show, you were like, wait, is that a cover?
No, I thought that like multiple times. Like that song's, I like the only problem I have with it is that I wasn't a part of writing it. Like it's incredible.
That song, yeah. Well, Alexa was like pitching a bunch of songs to us, and they were all great. So I think we just kind of had to pick which one we were going forward with. And I think that one was a little bit more maybe developed.
I remember hearing an old version of it, and it wasn't anything what it was now. I remember being like, yeah, this is cool. Like, and then now whatever happened, it's like, wow, this is crazy.
I think we all stood around trying to learn it because we did it very, kind of live. It wasn't full band live, but like we were doing everything live around each other. And I think I had learned the song. I played the entire track from top to bottom, probably 2 or 3 times. We're standing there listening to it. And Alexa was like, I don't think you played the song right. I was just having that idea the other day. I think I played like completely wrong chords and everything. But where the song ended up is really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think Richter came in and we just like stripped everything down and like just used his like ambient guitar pads.
That must be what it is, yeah.
Yeah, he sent it to me. He goes, I think you're probably going to want to use this mostly. It's just, the howling guitar part that kind of takes the track over. But yeah, he always brings some cool stuff to the table. Yeah, I mean, I just feel like we should all collaborate on a whole album.
That would be incredible. I would love to do that.
I know. I was thinking about how do we expand on that 4-song EP, and it's just kind of like its own thing. I'd love to be a part of something.
That is
track
its own
album,
entity.
Yeah, I don't even know if
I feel like I'm out of the writing of that now. Like that needs to be its own thing. But I'm already working on stuff. I feel like right now I've just been like writing a bunch, and I haven't really been showing either of you guys, like any of you guys, what I've been doing, because I want to write a bunch and see how it all kind of meshes together, and then like come in.
Right.
But I'm really glad that this is a conversation.
A
recorded conversation.
I'm totally open to that. Yeah.
Well, now that it's like so you guys aren't working on anything yet. Because remember you told me that you guys were going to start working on like an album or something, but
we did Small Price that we recorded at Chris's. You haven't heard
I'm excited to hear that one. I have not heard anything.
Yeah, we did that right before the holidays, and there's like 15 different piano takes, and like we got all of the parts, and they all sound absolutely incredible. We just haven't sat down and picked through the parts and arranged it out, but that one's the recording sounds amazing.
All of the recording that is from That's What Love Would Do, did you do it in your studio now that you're in?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, the piano was on an iPhone recording, but yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's just a voice.
Wait, explain that to me.
I use voice notes a lot for recording stuff because you can process it and it just kind of sounds like a sample. So I'll just set up like a voice note, or like I'll kind of like someone will be playing piano and I'll kind of just take a voice note and like move it around and then comp together that, and it'll just sound like it's in different spaces. Or I'll slide the phone under the piano, recording a voice note, and
I mean that gives it the vintage feel.
Gives it different tones, and I mean you start compressing that and affecting that, and it sounds like a sample.
Yeah, I love how this track opens up.
Thanks, man.
So what's the process? Do you record a ton of stuff in comp, or is it usually kind of like you'll work through a whole take and there it is, kind of more of like a live feel, or is it pretty worked out?
For vocals?
For vocals and the instruments.
Usually when we're producing, we start with a loop. So we'll start with like a riff. So it's like usually like, some sort of loop that's already made that one of us did, or like a guitar riff or something, and then
just build.
Yeah, start building on top of that. But usually in most of the songs we do, there's a loop playing through the entire song.
In some like shape or form, whether it's like pitched down or filtered.
Sometimes it goes away for a second, but it's usually then we build the whole song around.
I mean, even if like loop or just the chord changes,
Yeah.
Like,
well, yeah, when I say loop, I just mean like a riff that we record.
Yeah.
That's just going to go through the whole thing, and then you can't even hear it at most points because then like the hook happens and there's so much going on, but there's still this one thing that's like kind of staying there.
Yeah, if you were to strip it all away, you would hear it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unless there's like some crazy chord change, we're like, yep, got to take it out right there.
Yeah.
But that's usually how stuff starts. Yeah.
We should have done a chat where we're just like stripping away the tracks and listening to it.
Oh, that would be cool.
That'd be
yeah,
really
those are fun. I like dissecting the track, especially with the producers. Did you also mix it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this track. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna release the music video on Valentine's Day. It feels like
amazing.
A nice time to put the video out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good video too.
I'm also curious about going through the tracks because I'm sure there's like some pads and layers in there that we both have forgotten about that like just tuck in the mix.
Also, that was like about a year and a bit ago.
Yeah.
Like we produce different now.
Yeah,
we've like switched it up. Yeah, like a lot how we build tracks now. Like it'd be interesting to go back and see it.
I'm curious.
Do you have a flow? Because just to that point, I was actually just thinking about this because I had a track open. I don't know if I have like a set way of working. I think every time like this album that Alexa and I did together, I don't even like, I kind of feel like I just get in the zone of doing it and making it. And then once I get out of it, I forget how I did it. And then I start again on another project and I know exactly what I'm doing. But when that one's over, I'm like,
we have like a flow.
Everything's everything's literally down to like a formula.
Yeah, we have figured out how like
the only thing that isn't is like the actual spark of like what's that cool thing musically.
Yeah,
but, like,
that comes after
once
we implement the formula.
Like once there's like a tiny spark of an idea, then the whole thing is just that's just like a process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if like having a process or not is good or bad. I don't know. I don't really, I mean, I have a partner that I work with. His name is Reese. Maybe you guys met.
Yeah.
He was the drummer at my live show.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he's sick.
Yeah, we've been doing music forever together, so I feel like it's just kind of like that. Maybe you guys, I'm sure, have it where you're just like in such a flow that you just each person has their own not agenda, but like tasks that they're after, and it just ends up sounding really great.
We definitely both play specific roles.
Yeah,
and,
like we have our things like you know, if Mark starts with guitar, then we'll make that guitar part and then pass it over, and then I sit and I'll do bass, I'll do drums, and like, you know, start arranging, and then I'll pass that over, and then Mark will do what he's hearing, and then he'll pass it over, I'll do what I'm hearing, and then a lot of times after that, usually or during that, the writing starts.
Yeah, the writer's working,
you know. And then once the writing's in, then it's all about adding more stuff to make it sound cool with the vocals.
There's definitely like experimentation, but that happens before the songwriting process.
Yeah, like,
you know, so all of
during
like
the building.
Yeah, all like the fun kind of like messing around on instruments, figuring out what we're doing, but once the songwriting process starts, it's kind of like, you know.
You guys have a great flow. You also have a great flow in the kitchen when you guys are cooking.
Let's go.
And I was like, oh my God, that's fluid.
That's so true.
Yo, we be chefing, man.
We do.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
We gotta do a little a dinner night one of these nights.
Oh my goodness.
A little full service studio.
Yeah.
Basically.
Alexa, what's the easiest? Is to get something from these guys and start working on top of it, or do you sometimes deliver a voice note to them and they send back something to you?
I feel like for the most part, I've always started something with them, but I've been starting to write with my friend Jordan, and so with the latest one, Small Price, the one that we recorded the pianos and strings to, we came in with that song. So my process has kind of like been changing. But it's fun because I feel like with what I'm writing now, it's very personal, and it's really, really digging more than I ever have. So I kind of want to like make sure I have the song together before I go in with it, because it's done before I come in with it.
I wasn't sure if everyone froze. Alexa, you froze for a second.
Yeah.
It just gave me the notification that my internet connection is unstable.
And it was really beautiful too, what you were saying.
I couldn't tell I couldn't tell either.
Damn. My Wi-Fi is literally sitting right next to me. Like, how
I looked at you guys and no one was moving, so I was like, oh shit.
I just froze because that froze.
I was like, I felt like it was profound too, and I'm like, why aren't they saying anything?
Go figure. As soon as Alexa starts getting deep into her feels, which
all of a sudden they're like,
is what I love most about your writing. You are very you're able to tap into that certainly more than I am when I'm writing my emotions. I feel like you're going through a lot right now in your life, and it's coming out in your music more so than the early stuff that I listened to of yours.
I also feel like I'm going through like different kind of changes. Like I feel like I was actually going through more like personal and deep shit before, and now I'm able to like be separated from it and reflect on it. Whereas when I was in it, I didn't want to write about it. I wanted to write about anything except that because I was in it, right? And so now that like I've taken a step back, I can be like, oh yeah, like that's kind of what it was, you know, because I feel like I'm in a much happier place, so I can tap into those sad parts and look at it and reflect rather than be sulking in it. So like I feel like with, you know, That's What Love Would Do, the part that that's what love would do was inspired by the song from Grease, that's the worst thing I could do. So it's like kind of similar but not the same thing. But I feel like that song goes into like the first verse pokes at my dramatics. I'm like, ugh, wake up slow. I don't want to see the sun anymore. Everybody's in on something. I don't know. Like, okay, girl, shut up. You're fine. But so it's like kind of poking at it. And then like going into the chorus, I'm like, oh, no, but it's me. I make it impossible. And then I kind of go through all the things that like love would do. Because like love is pure, right? It's just us humans that taint it, right? And I have a cover of Tainted Love on Spotify if you want to listen to it. Anyway.
Shameless plug. Hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, right? Like, subscribe and comment, please. Thanks. Yeah, but the song kind of talks about like, you know, I could be brave, I could be gentle, I could be soft, I could be this, all the things that I am so reluctant to do because I get very closed off. Like, you know, it's a defense mechanism, right? So it's trying to break through my sometimes hard exterior.
Yeah, the 20s are good for making you feel a bunch of insecurities and uncomfortable. And then the older you get,
really good at it.
I can reflect on that.
Yeah.
Able to look back on it with more of like a clear head and be like, I was going through it.
Yeah.
I for me, I mean, maybe like kind of going off what you were just saying, I have a really hard time writing when I'm going through something.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I know at all what's going on. Or if I'm writing something when going through something, it's not clear to me until a year later and I listen back to it and I'm like, perfectly defined it. And I feel like there's two ways. You're either in it writing about it perfectly or you can't write about it until you're out of it.
I need to like process what's happening before I can like truly write about it and it makes sense. And it's like, oh yeah, that's what that was. When I'm in it, I'm just like, I'm everywhere.
Yeah. You got to find a way to really bring it all together and market it like Adele. She's like, I'm 29. I just went through it. And we're like, yes, you did, bitch. Yes, you did. And we're going through it with you. Every phase is like a new season of her life. And I'm like, oh my God, what did we just go through?
It's so good.
And then you like can like think about it in like your life too. And you're just like, well, you were 25, but I was this. And I'm going through it.
Well, now she's 30 and I'm 33. And I'm like, girl, I get it. Yeah, you just got to market it. You got to really market your sadness.
That's what I be doing.
Yeah. Well, what else, guys? Anything else? Any secrets?
Any secrets? Got. I'm drawing blanks. Drawing blanks.
I told you I'd have to kill you.
Yeah.
You'll know soon.
Excited for this music drop and our music video drop, and to be writing more. We should talk more in the future about that potential album. I like that idea.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Hell yeah, guys!
A big collaborative experience.
Yeah, that would be sick.
Love collabing.
I love that EP you guys did.